I definitely don't have a crap flow. Thank you, sir.
Next, we got Who Me. What can you tell us about it?
So the reason why it's called Who Me Dream State is because originally when I made the album, it's going to be like a longer album, like 16, 18 tracks I was originally going to do, and Dream State and Who Me were going to be completely separate songs that went into each other, intertwined in some super complex way that I was going to do it, and then I ended up, in the actual beat session itself, I decided I don't like the way Who Me sounds. This sounds more like Dream State. So I just moved all the instruments to the side, and I was like, I'm still going to do it in the same key so that it like melts together properly. And when I made Who Me, I was like, all right, I'm going to pick the most random like lead synth sound that I can find. Found it. And it was like almost on like the first, maybe second like instrument that I like found. I was like, oh, okay, that's the one. And then like playing it out and everything. And then I was like, man, I wonder what the new melody like lines sound like over top the old melody lines. And then eventually I just put them on top of each other. And I was like, oh, that's the bridge, outro, like breakdown kind of like right there. And so, when I was making the actual Who Me section, the more aggressive section, I got to the actually like structuring out the chorus, and I literally just kept saying like, Who Me, like Who Me. I'm like, oh, okay, that's the chorus right there. I know what I'm gonna do. And then I pretty much I really like stopped everything, made the beat section to the chorus, wrote the chorus out, and I was like, all right, well, now I guess I should finish the song. And I wanted another feature on it, and my original feature ended up also like bailing on me. So I pretty much hit up Tyrell Fanaticus, because I was like, well, I know he'll hit me back for sure. And so he got back with me with a verse after like a while. Like the whole process took like, a few months in general for like almost every song for the most part, unless I made it right then and there. And so like I finally got his stuff back. And yeah, pretty much it's just, the song is about more or less in general people doubting you, and you're just being like, me really, like those things that you're saying about me are very severely false. I definitely don't have a crap flow. Thank you, sir. But in general, like it's about like people like and just wanting to put you down because they don't feel good about themselves, and you're just like, I don't feel like that's the truth right there. Which is why the chorus is like when people at the end it's like they say, "Man is about to blow." Yeah, that's me. I say that line literally just because it's like you hear all like the negative stuff, and then like that like then that one person is like those few people that are just like, nah, man, like they don't know what they're talking about. Once you get that actual like validation from like the people that you've been actually wanting to get the validation from, it's like it doesn't even matter what these people are saying anymore. Like I can make jokes about you. Y'all talk about how I got a crap flow, man. Y'all off beat on your own songs, like. That kind of like mindset of like, I'm gonna not believe what you're saying about me just because I know the people that I actually care about are giving me the validation, which goes literally into like Dream State being a kind of like an entendre on top of itself. Like I'm living in this dream state, like yeah, the people who are giving me validation are the ones I want validation from, but at the same time they're still my peers. I'm still like same level as I was before. Just because I got that validation doesn't mean that I'm like the next Jay-Z or the next Kendrick Lamar or anything like that at all. But also it means I'm living in like this dream state of like, this is where I want to be. I want people to like feel that way about my music, the way that these people are like, the people I want validating me have been validating me. And so it's like, you can even like take that in life, like literally like, yo, you think you're doing a crap job at your, at your place of employment? Maybe, that one person that like you respect their work ethic the most are like, nah man, like I know you haven't been getting like recognized, but like you're doing a dope job. Or like even like that one sense you're like, man, I feel like I'm not parenting my kids right, and your kid says that one profound thing that you're just like, man, maybe I am doing something right kind of situation.
You kind of touched on something there. I know you mentioned in your early submission that you early on there was some instrument you were playing, right?
Yeah.
What instrument was that? My memory sucks.
So I originally played baritone, the baritone horn, in elementary school for about a year before I quit due to bullying. Yeah.
And as somebody that early on got shut down in the music path because of bullying, you've now become a grown man and you're putting out really unique feeling, like it's very unique to you and your situation. How do you overcome the people that talk the shit, like you mentioned, the people that are having a bad day, so they see your song, they're like, oh, that song sucks, they might not even listen to it. Or how do you deal with those criticisms and still be able to put out that authentic you music?
It's funny because a lot of it has to do with like in general like just talking to like the peers of mine that like I like respect, like specifically like I talk to Bela about like this all the time, like, man, like, does my music suck? And he's because like I'm like, dude, you like play music, man, so it's like if my shit sucks, man, like I know you can hear it for sure. And he's like always like, nah dude, it literally doesn't. I just think these people are just like, they either like just don't mess with it because it's different, or like they just they're just pretty much hating. They're just like they feel bad about themselves or whatever. So a lot of it has to do with like venting a lot is like a huge thing, because that's one thing like in general. Like, by the way, if y'all have mental illnesses, I definitely recommend going to therapy. It's not for everyone, but at least try it. A lot of stuff that my therapists over the years have pretty much told me is like, or really taught me, is how to compartmentalize those people into like being like, yo, they're probably in their own box, their own little bubble, their own little world, and they don't actually mean the things they're saying, or like you said, they like probably didn't even listen to the thing. Right. They're just commenting just so they can feel better about themselves, because they just feel like negativity and shutting people down makes them feel better about themselves. So like a lot of it has to do with like just conversations I've had, looking back on stuff. In general, peer reviews. Like a lot of the times, like I send my stuff out to like people that like literally like don't even listen to this type of music I make, just to get their reaction. I've never even heard the kind of music I make, or remember my stuff from like when I was used to making stuff in high school to like, or making stuff throughout college. I was like pretty mediocre to like stuff like now where it's like, man, I have like an actual full composition kind of going on. And in general, like writing, like I write a lot of it out in kind of like, I'll put them all into like one bubble of like, this is how I feel because of one situation that piled on top of another situation, and I'll make a song just about the feeling that I had, and it'll be like a bunch of different subjects, or like why I feel that way. Like my song Insecure on my Sorry Awkward record, like that. The first verse is about pretty much someone using you for your time. The second verse is about someone using you for like gain, like like, hey man, put me on, but we've never been cool. You only talked to me twice in 12th grade. Like, why are you trying to come at me now that you see that like I kind of like have been like doing stuff, right? And then the third verse is generally like more like about yourself, being insecure about like myself, and being insecure about like the things that like you deal with on a daily basis, because like having confidence and getting out of that comfort zone is like a part of life, and like no longer being insecure about the things you were insecure to move on and like progress. But yeah, the general like vibe is to like be able to progress and move on.
Does live performing help you with all those things that you're kind of talking about, of like dealing with those insecurities? Because I mean, it's amazing to me, the more interviews that I do of this with musicians, how many musicians either hate to be in front of people, or like everything that has to do with performing music seems like the introvert in you would kind of just shut down. What is it about performing that just makes you just feel alive? Because I've seen the videos, like you light up like somebody just flipped the switch when you get to go on stage.
I don't know. I love performing. I don't know. It's so weird. It is like a way of like, it just feels like I'm just getting everything like off my chest like right then and there on stage. Like even like it's so crazy because I'll literally pick my set list just based on like how I kind of feel or whatever, what I want to do, and how I want to make the crowd feel or how I want to perform that day or something like that. But yeah, I mean, I love performing. Like literally, it's able. So one thing I love about live shows, and like I feel like as a musician, you have to be an active concert goer too, because like if you don't understand how people want to receive your like songs live, it'll like, I guess, diminish the quality your music could have. Like your song could be like 2 steps from being great just because you don't have the mentality of like, how would this be perceived live? How would people react to this live? How would they want to chant my like songs and lyrics back to themselves or back to me live? And so like a huge thing is I want to be able to connect with people in person. So a lot of times I've been getting like, I get a lot of like continuous fans from people who have literally seen me live. Because they're just like, yeah, the music's cool and everything. And like, I like it on record, but man, when I see you live, it's like a completely different song. And it's like, and like having that like connection with like your actual fan base that can turn your like fans to friends, to people that can know, because they'll continually come out and like support you, and like they're no longer, you know, they're no longer casual fans, or people are just like, yo, I know every word to every song, I buy merch, I got the album, I got the vinyl, I got the stickers, the whole thing. And literally like that one personal connection of like, how would this be perceived live can like change your music and how people listen to your music in general.
Yeah, that was beginning of this year or is that last year already? We went to see a show. Token came to town. You know Token?
Yeah.
But one of the openers was Ken Archie. And I'd never heard of Ken Archie before this day, but the way that he controlled a crowd, the way that he made you get in, like he forced you to be entertained and energetic about what he was doing, kind of teach you a couple words. When I say this, you know, you guys say that, like getting that crowd participation to where you have a good time with somebody at a show like that, and then every time that you hear their music afterwards, it takes you back to that personal connection, like you said. Kind of like, oh yeah, I remember when he said this, or you know, remember when, you know, we wanted him to hear that, but he came out with that whole song that we never even heard of, and it was even better than whatever. Like it's that personal connection that's not just a digital download, I think, is what the difference is in that.